Okay, simultaneous equations then. So I've got 2x plus 5y is 15 and 3x minus 2y is 13. So in order to solve these, we need to find a value for x and a value for y. So just look at these equations. You can see I've got different number of x's, different number of y's on each of the equations. So I need to do a couple of things first before I start solving. So in terms of step by step, then the first thing I'm going to do is number the equations. Okay, so then when I do steps later on, I can refer to these equations as different numbers. So the first thing to do then is to number equations. Okay, so in order to use the elimination method, I need to make either the x's the same or the y's the same. Doesn't make a difference which one you go for. I'm going to concentrate on the y's, and I'm going to make them the same with, I've got 5y and 2y. Now, I'm going to use a little method here by multiplying the whole equation by the opposite y. And what I mean by that is, this equation here, I'm going to multiply all of that by 2, that's my opposite y. And then all of the second equation, I'm going to multiply by the 5. So I'm going to multiply by opposite y's. So to do that, I'm going to times this one by 2 and times this one by 5. So let's do that then. So when I multiply this by 2, I multiply the whole thing by 2. So then 2x times 2 is 4x, 5y times 2 is 10y, 15 times 2 is 30. Underneath then, I'm multiplying all of this by 5. So 3x times 5 is 15x, 2y times 5 is 10y, 13 times 5 is 65. Now the reason why I'm multiplying all of it, not just each little section, because that way the x value and the y value will stay the same amount. I'm just blowing it up, I'm just enlarging all the numbers, therefore the x value and the y value are still exactly the same. So I've now got equation 3 and equation 4. But now, I'm now looking at my y's. Well, they're the same now, that's what we wanted to do, that's what we're trying to achieve. And that's why we multiply by the opposite y's. That's the very same reason. So, I'm now going to have a look at my symbols. Okay, if the symbols are the same, we subtract. So if symbols are the same, we subtract. And if symbols are different, we add. Oh, forgot to do that. Okay, so then if they're different, we have to add them together. So I'm going to show my exam. I'm going to do equation number 3, add equation number 4. So I'm going to add these together like the column method. So I've got 4x plus 15x is 19x. These disappear because 10y plus negative 10y plus the minus, therefore it eliminates. And that's how these steps work every single time. 30 plus 65 is 95. Now, to get to x by itself, I need to divide by this coefficient here. So I'm going to divide by 19. Now, if you don't know 19 times table, you could just write it on the side, 19, add 19 for 38, add 19, etc. And you will realise then that x equals 5. So, if symbols are the same, we subtract. If they're different, we add. So I'm going to put here, find x value, which is this step here. Okay, well, so we use the inverse to solve. To divide by 19, 19 goes into 95 5 times. Okay, so we've got 4 steps there. We're halfway through. We found a value for x. We need to find a value for y. Okay, so next step, if we've got the value for x being 5, we can use that now to try and find out what y is using the top equation. So let's substitute x equals 5 into equation number 1. Now I've picked number 1 because the y is positive. When the y is negative, it gets a bit more difficult because you've got to make the y positive to find the value. So I'm going to pick equation 1 because it's already positive. So let's have sub x equals 5 into 1. So let's write down equation 1 again then. So I've got 2x plus 5y equals 15. So let's substitute now. So this 2x, so it's 2 times 5. I'll put it in red just to show you. That's where the 5's come from. So 2 times 5 plus 5y equals 15. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 15, sorry, plus 5y equals 15. Okay, so scroll us up a touch here. I'm trying to find the value of y. And then in any sort of algebra equations, to find the value of y, or find the value of any letter, we've got to do the inverse operation to find out the value. So let's eliminate things. Let's have a look at, I've got a positive 10 here. So to eliminate positive 10, I've got to subtract 10 from both sides. 15 take away 10 is 5. So if that's eliminated, then it's obviously not there. To find the value of y, but to eliminate the 5, that's 5 times y. Also the opposite, or the inverse, times is divide. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we have now solved our equation. We've got x is 5 and y is 1. Just to finish these steps here, find the x value. That was up to here. So now we sub x value to find y value. Okay, the important things are where I put the red pen here. That's me showing the examiner exactly what I'm doing and how I'm getting there. So I'm going to put a little cloud around these. That's our steps to success, our success criteria for each of those. Okay, quite a few steps there. Obviously, I suggest that you write it down. So let's go through it. So step by step, number the equation. So that's number 1, number 2. Multiply by opposite y. So that means times that top one by 7, times this bottom one by 3. So let's do that then. So times all of this by 7, so then I've got 14x plus 21y equals 210. And then I've got 5x times 3 is 15x plus 21y equals 213. Okay, so I've noticed now my bottom number is slightly bigger than what I've got on the top, but I've still got 3 and 4. If symbols are the same, we subtract. Well, they are the same, so we do need to subtract. However, these numbers here are slightly smaller than these here, all across the whole equation. So let's imagine now, let's switch them round. So we're going to do equation 4, subtract equation 3. So then 15 take away 14 is 1x. 213 take away 210 is 3. Right, so I've now got an x value. Let's sub x equals 3 into, let's go for equation 1 again. I'm picking 1 because it's positive. Both of these are positive, so it doesn't really make a difference. Let's go for 2x plus 3y equals 30. So if x is 3, that means 2 times 3 plus 3y is 30. 2 times 3 is 6. The rest of the same. Just do one step at a time. To eliminate the 6, we subtract the 6. which leaves 3y is 24. To eliminate the 3, we divide by 3. And 3 goes into 24 8 times. So I've got x is 3 and y equals 8. You'll notice that I put rectangles around them, make them stand out, make them nice and clear for the examiner. Right, weird problems. Okay, so a numeracy-based question then, with simultaneous equation, will look something like this. So I've got 3 chews and 4 bubblies cost 72p, and 5 chews and 2 bubblies cost 64p. What would 3 chews and 5 bubblies cost? Now, it doesn't say use simultaneous equations. It doesn't say express your algebra skills or anything like that. This screams out simultaneous equations to me for very simple reasons, really. I've got 3 of something, 4 of something costs something else. But then you'll notice that I've got the same thing on another sentence here. So I've got chews and I've got bubblies. Well, if you think what that looks like, if, for instance, if I use a highlighter and think I've got 3 chews, 4 bubblies, 72p, and then I've got 5 chews, 2 bubblies, 64p. Let's bottom it with 3 chews and 5 bubblies. Right. Okay, keywords then. I've got a lovely keyword here, and. Think of operations, and would obviously be a plus. Cost. That's the cost of these together. So therefore that would be an equal sign. So let's make this look like an algebra equation. So I've got 3 chews, or when you think of a letter we could use for choose, we could use C, we could use a B, or then use X and Y's, because that's what we used to before. So let's make this look like 3x plus 4y equals 72. I then got 5x and 2y for 64p. Right, now that looks familiar. Let's think of our steps from last time there. Let's number them 1 and 2. Let's multiply by opposite y. So I'm going to times these by 2, times that by 4. Let's times all of this by 2 then. So 3x times 2 is 6x. 4y times 2 is 8y. 72 times 2, 144. Times this one by 4. Well, 5x times 4 is 20x. 2y times 4 is 8y. 64 times 4, 240 be 60, so that's 256. Right, so I've now got equation 3 and equation 4. If symbols are the same, we subtract. If they're different, we add. Okay, but my bottom ones here are slightly bigger than the equation 3. So we can imagine we're going to switch them around. So then we're going to equation number 4, subtract equation number 3. So 20x take away 6x is 14x. 8y take away 8y is 0, so it eliminates. 256 take away 144 is 112. Okay, you could do the column method to the side if you're a bit unsure how to do that in your head. Now I need the 14 times table. Well, 10 14 is 140, so we know we're quite close there. And then we could subtract 14 again. And you realise then that 14 goes into 112 8 times. So that's the cost of one of these chews. So one of these chews is 8p. So we're going to use that now. So let's sub this x equals 8 into equation number 1. And equation number 1 was 3x plus 4y equals 72. So if x is 8, let's do 3 times 8. Just using a different colour pen there, just so you can see where it's coming from. Plus 4y is 72. Well, 3 8 is 24. And to find the y value, we need to eliminate everything else. So let's subtract 24 from both sides, which leaves 4y. 72, take away 24, would leave me with 48. And then to obviously find the value of y, to eliminate the 4 by dividing by 4. And 4 goes into 48 12 times. So the cost of one chew is 8p, and the cost of a bubbly is 12p. So I've used simultaneous equations to solve that. However, have I answered the question? Well, this last bit here, what would 3 chews and 5 bubblies cost? Well, we know one chew is 8. So I've got 3 chews would be 3 times 8, which is 24p. 5 bubblies, so 5 times 12, and 5 12s are 60p, so let's put them together, 60p, add 24p, 84 pence. So we've used the first 2 pieces of information to make simultaneous equations, and then we've used our answers from x's and y's to actually answer the question. So my big tip, always check if you answered the question, because we get so used to the simultaneous, I think, yep, I've sorted it, I've got all the marks, but have you though? Always check the question. Okay, so there's our question then. A taxi firm charges a fixed amount plus so much per mile. Now a journey of 6 miles costs £3.70. and a journey of 10 miles costs £5.10. What would a journey of 8 miles cost? Again, doesn't say use simultaneous equations or use algebra. We just need to work this out. So we've got some key words here. So it charges a fixed amount plus so much per mile. Okay. That plus obviously is an addition sign. So we've got a fixed amount plus so much per mile. So a journey of 6 miles costs £3.70 and 10 miles costs £5.10. What would a journey of 8 miles cost? Okay, so what I'm seeing here, I am seeing a fixed amount could be y's, and per mile, and miles could be, could be x's. So let's make some equations. So I've got a journey of 6 miles, so I've got 6x plus the fixed rate equals £3.70, and I've got 10 miles plus my fixed rate, £5.10. Okay, so let's number them 1 and 2. Right, symbols are the same. Then we've got to subtract. Right, the bottom number is slightly bigger. So let's flip them around. Let's do equation 2, subtract equation 1. So then 10x take away 6x is 4x. £5.10 take away £3.70, £1.40. So then I can use this then to find the value, or the cost, sorry, of 1 mile. So then let's divide that by 4. 4's on £1.40. Well, half of it is 70p, half of that is 35p. So you'll notice this is in pounds, so I'm going to keep this in pounds as well. So x is there, so it's 35p per mile. But I need to use that now to work out my fixed rate. So the fixed rate is the y. So let's sub x equals 0.35 into one of these. Now I've got 6x, we've got 10x. I'm going to go for equation 2 this time. The simple fact of 10 times 35p is a lot easier to do. They're both positive wise, so it doesn't make a difference. So my equation 2, is 10x plus y, £5.10. So I've got 10 times 0.35 plus y equals £5.10. Well, 10 35p's is £3.50 plus something is £5.10. So then if I subtract £3.50 or 3.5, then y will be £3.50 taken away from £5.10 is £1.60. So it's 35p per mile, and my fixed rate is £1.60. So let's ask ourselves, have I asked the question? I've got, what would a journey of 8 miles cost? Okay, so I got 8x plus the fixed rate. That's what they want. So then, if it's 35p, so that means I've got 8 times 35p plus my fixed rate, which is £1.60. Right, 8.35, so 8.35p's. Now, well, 10 is obviously £3.50, so 9 would be £3.15, so then it'd be £2.80 there. Or you could do 3 8s is 24, and then 8 5s 40, add them on that way. Could do that way. You could do the separate method on the side, 0.35, 8 on the bottom. Work it out, use box method. You could do repeat addition, it's completely up to you. So I've got £2.80, add £1.60. You could use column method. And my final answer for a journey of 8 miles, £4.40. Just like that.